Suella Braverman and Robert Jenrick are concerned about Jacqueline MacKenzie, or Jenrick is being very coy about who it is. I think he's talking about Jacqueline MacKenzie. He may be talking about other people as well. But in a way, they both miss the point. So Braverman is up in arms about the activities of this lawyer, Jacqueline MacKenzie, and Conservative campaign headquarters have a dossier apparently on her, and she is the person, they say, who is responsible for stopping the Rwanda plane on June the 14th last year. And she represented a man called Lee Day, a Jamaican man with a history of blood pressure problems and also convictions for kidnapping. But this is the crunch. She was able to overturn the deportation order and to delay the flight sufficiently to stop the flight because the law itself was badly thought out, because the people in the Home Office, I would imagine the person who runs the Home Office, Suella Braverman, her deputies, Jenrick, some of the senior civil servants, maybe, I don't know, are too lazy to have done their homework, and we see this again and again and again. So it's not a surprise to me that the Home Office is so chaotic, that a straightforward legal challenge can be mounted and can be successful. The law is badly planned. And as I say, it's not a surprise, given the recent string of completely inept Home Secretaries and their approach. Ideology, soundbite, slogan, and lazy lawyering. This particular person, Jacqueline MacKenzie, is also on a Labour task force, or at least she was on a Labour task force chaired by Annalise Dodds and Baroness Lawrence, and she worked on detention action, which led to the ruling that the Rwanda plan was unlawful. So she's been active, supporting or objecting to current legislation. But does that mean that she's Labour's secret weapon? I would imagine that somebody like Jacqueline MacKenzie would be equally forthright, acting as a lawyer against legislation that she thought was faulty and had been enacted by the Labour Party. Jacqueline MacKenzie seems to me like a good lawyer who is testing the law. And the fact that Suella Braverman and her people are not up to the task of making good laws, that is the point. And they can't blame Jacqueline MacKenzie for their own stupidity. And in the end, it is stupidity and time wasting and money wasting, and no amount of writing articles in this newspaper or that newspaper or getting favourable reviews of this and that is going to change the fact that when it comes down to it, the law is about something that is written on paper. And if it doesn't work in the courts, then it's a bad law. And it needs to go back to the government and be changed. It doesn't matter what its intention is. It doesn't matter if Suella Braverman, but this is what I wanted. Well, you're too stupid to get it. You don't know how to think through the law because you haven't done the work, because you're too lazy. And this is demonstrated again and again when you appear in front of the select committee and you're paper shuffling because you haven't done your work, because you haven't managed the brief. And this is shown in the sort of laws that you put out. You don't know what you're talking about. What we need is a Home Secretary who does the work. And until we get a Home Secretary who does the work, we are going to end up in chaos. And we're going to end up giving the work to lawyers who can actually put the time in, Whether the intention of these laws is right or wrong, it doesn't really matter. What matters is whether the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, and the law is sound. And these laws are not sound. Full stop. Suella Braverman is... sound bites. Sound bites are nothing without intelligence. Sound bites is like listening to some sort of yapping animal. It's like listening to a duck. It's like listening to Bay.